let's transition. Let's go back to Green Bay. Let's talk about the Thursday night football matchup on Amazon Prime Video. It's an NFC North battle at Lambeau Field. It's the 2-1 Detroit Lions, who are favored by 1.5 point, traveling to Green Bay to take on the 2-1 Green Bay Packers. It's set for 8:15 p.m. kickoff on Amazon Prime Video. The over-under for this matchup is 45.5. And last year, the Detroit Lions, they ended the Packers' playoff aspirations. They beat the Packers in Lambeau in Week 18, last game of the year. Aaron Rodgers' last game as a Packer. The Lions beat the Packers 20-16. In that game, Jared Goff, he outplayed Aaron Rodgers. Jared Goff went 23 of 34. He threw for 224 passing yards. Raymond had 4 receptions, 66 receiving yards for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, 17 of 27, 205 passing yards, 1 touchdown. Christian Watson had 5 receptions, 104 receiving yards. So it was announced earlier that Christian Watson will make his 2023 season debut. So Jordan Love is going to get back his number 1 receiver in Christian Watson. And Aaron Jones, it sounds like Aaron Jones will also be in the lineup Thursday night at Lambeau Field. So Jordan Love is going to get back 2 of his weapons offensively in Aaron Jones and Christian Watson. But let's start off with the Detroit Lions. So far this season, Jared Goff has 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 819 passing yards. He's completing 70% of his passes. And this Lions offense, so far this year, they are 10th in total yards. They average 385 yards per game. They average 270 yards per game. But what I'm most impressed with when it comes to this Lions offense is their ability to run the football. They're averaging 112 rushing yards per game. That's ranked 11th in the NFL. And in that running back room, they got David Montgomery, but he's been injured. But they have Montgomery. They got Gibbs as well. They got Craig Reynolds. This Lions running game has impressed me. Now, obviously, the strength of the Lions football team is their skill position players. They got Josh Reynolds. They got Marvin Jones Jr. They got Jameson Williams, although he's suspended right now. They still got Antoine Green as well. But I like their skill position players. I like Marvin Jones. I like Josh Reynolds as well. Jameson Williams had a great college career at the University of Alabama. So Jared Goff has some weapons to distribute the football to. He has some weapons to distribute the football to. And this Lions offense, they can be explosive. They really, really can. And you look at what they've been able to do so far this season. In Week 1 against the Chiefs, they only put up 21 points. They beat a Chiefs team who won the Super Bowl last year. Now, they didn't have Travis Kelce in that game, but that's a big-time signature win for the Detroit Lions Week 1 of the season. And then in Week 2, they lost to the Seattle Seahawks, but I predicted that. I don't know why the Vegas had Seattle underdogs in that game. If anything, the Seahawks and the Lions are on the same level as football teams. That should have been a game where it should have been, a pick'em game. But they put up 31 points against the Seattle Seahawks in a loss. And then in Week 3 against the Falcons, they only scored 20 points, which shocked me because the Falcons defense, they're not elite. I thought they were going to score more points against that Falcons defense. But overall, I'm impressed with this offensive line. They got Frank Ragnow at center. They got Jonah Jackson at left guard. At left tackle, you got Taylor Decker. At right tackle, you got Penei Sewell. He's done a tremendous job. So I like this Lions offensive line. They have opened up running lanes for David Montgomery and Jair Gibbs. So give them credit. Now, defensively, the Lions, they have improved. Last year, they weren't very good last year. Last year, As a defense, they were ranked bottom half in the NFL. In total yards given up per game, they're tied for 11th. They only give up 324 yards per game, which is tied for 11th. They have gotten better defensively. They've gotten better in the secondary. You got Kirby Joseph. You got Tracy Walker III. Now, they did lose C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and that's going to hurt them because I think he brings a veteran presence to that locker room. He plays with great intensity, but I like what I'm seeing from this Lions defense. Up front, you got Aiden Hutchinson, the defensive end from Michigan. He's born and raised in that Detroit area, went to Michigan, so he's a playmaker as a pass rusher. You got Benito Jones as well, Jack Campbell at linebacker. I like this Lions defense. I really, really do. So you look at the Packers on the other side. So far this year, Jordan Love has played at a high level. Jordan Love, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception, 655 passing yards, completing 53% of his passes. He has to get better from a standpoint of being able to complete more passes, and you expect that to get better as the season goes along. You do. Hopefully, David Bakhtiari will play. He hasn't played in 2 out of the 3 games this year for the Packers. Hopefully, Elton Jenkins will come back at some point. But this is going to be an interesting game for the Packers. This is a big test for this young Packers football team. But I like the weapons that Jordan Love has. He got Christian Watson back. You still got Romeo Doubs. You still got their young tight ends as well. They got the young tight end, Luke Musgrave. So this Packers offense can be explosive if they can create running lanes for Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. He got to run harder and run behind his pads as well. This is going to be an interesting matchup. Whichever team wins this game will be in sole possession of first place in the NFC North. It's going to be a high-scoring affair, short week. So with all that being said, I feel like the Packers have the more talented quarterback, and I feel like the Packers have the more proven head coach. I'm rolling with the Green Bay Packers to beat the Detroit Lions in Lambeau Field. I'm going Packers 28, Lions 24.